all raw vegans orthorexic? That's a question I would like to discuss today, and feel free to use the comment section to share your own opinion as well. So today I'm going to present my own thoughts. Now, first of all, I want to mention that I think when it comes to nutrition, it is so important to find more things in life to focus on other than just nutrition, to create a beautiful life filled with amazing moments, and to view nutrition more as a tool than as something to imprison ourselves and to say, I cannot have any of that, but to really use it as a tool to create that beautiful life. And I know it can be so easy to get stuck in that loop of just obsessing over nutrition and just kind of feeling so stuck and lost and like nothing out there can be eaten anymore because everything is unhealthy. I totally know that feeling. So towards the end of this video, I would also like to share 10 things that you can do with your life if you currently find yourself hyper obsessing about nutrition, to shift the focus away from nutrition and to start using it more as a tool instead of as a form of enslavement, which I've been there and I know what it feels like. I think it can be very tempting to eat healthy out of fear because somebody else told you this is unhealthy, so then you never touch it again. I'm going to share 3 examples here. So the first one is, I don't know if you follow Freely the Banana Girl, which I love her so much, and she has completely changed my life. And a couple of days ago, she shared a recipe video reel for some raw vegan wraps, and then she said that she doesn't add any psyllium husk because they're gut busting and everything. And I could find myself in the very first moment because I do regularly make raw vegan pizza in my dehydrator, and in the first moment I was like, oh my god, I need to find an alternative recipe for my raw vegan pizza because that contains psyllium husk. But then I was like, no, wait a second, Julia, like I don't feel any negative impact from adding psyllium husk to my raw vegan pizza. In fact, I feel amazing after eating those pizzas, and I usually have 2 at once because that's the amazing thing. You can have more than just one because, you know, they're high quality ingredients, they're whole foods, and they aren't as calorie dense as a loaded cheese pizza. So yeah, and I have decided, no, I'm not going to eliminate psyllium husk out of my diet just because someone else on the internet tells me that it's not healthy. And I feel the same about a lot of other things that, you know, some people say you shouldn't have, but I feel great eating those things. So of course I'll still eat them. And then on the other hand, 2 days ago, I had a big bowl of rice. Now it was quite a bit of rice. I will say it was probably a little bit more than my body needed in that moment, and still with other foods I can get away doing that, versus this night I could actually feel myself being really clogged up and having difficulties breathing. And it's so important to me right now that you hearing this are not thinking, oh my god, I should completely quit rice now, I'm never going to have it again, but to detach from that mindset. Because if you feel amazing eating rice, you feel energized afterwards, you don't experience these difficulties that I have from it, then you should totally go for it and continue eating rice, in my opinion. But because for me, it isn't even a problem, or it isn't even a challenge to just say, okay, I'm not going to have rice. I love quinoa, I love buckwheat, I love potatoes, I love corn pasta, and these foods don't cause that kind of reaction in my body. So instead of saying, oh, I can't have that, no, I want to experience an amazing life. And that's why out of love I choose to say, hey, you know what, I'm just not gonna have it. And for now, you know, I'm not gonna say I'm never gonna eat it again. It's just right now, and it doesn't cause me any stress, it doesn't cause me any havoc. It's just a feeling of, yeah, I would rather just prefer having something else. And I think that mindset is so important to cultivate around food in general. And to just really know that we're doing it out of love and not out of fear. And an analogy I like to use here as well that I've been thinking of this morning is, imagine buying an incredible, amazing car with all your life savings that you literally spend, you know, however many life savings you have. You spend all of that into your car. And then you know that there's different kinds of fuels at the gas station that will have a a different kind of impact on the engine and on the whole carrossery. I'm not a car expert or native to English, but yeah, like on the whole car. And would you, if you had the money, would you go out and buy the cheapest fuel if you knew that the more expensive fuel is going to like have your car drive so smoothly and your car will last a lot longer? You will have to take it to the mechanic less often, and it will just drive so smoothly and effortlessly, and yeah, you'll have a great experience with that car. Or would you choose the cheap fuel where you're just like, yeah, I just want to use that instead? And I look at the same way with my buddy. So, and the thing is, a car, if it ever breaks down, you can just get a new one, but your buddy, you cannot get a new buddy. You only have this one buddy. So, and then again, not from a place of fear saying, oh my God, I only have this one buddy, I need to put the best fuel in, but I want to put the best fuel in and to just really come into a place of love and abundance, and also realizing and noticing, and if you know my channel, you know I talk about this so much, but focusing on the fact that life becomes more effortless and more enjoyable and more amazing. Like sitting down to a good meal of fruit, if you've ever had a good meal of really high quality fruit, and it doesn't even have to be something fancy, it can literally just be a banana berry smoothie. If you choose nice ingredients, don't even have to be organic, just find some good bananas, and you will be in absolute heaven, and every bite is going to be amazing. And it is going to take time to figure that out. But if you're someone who has already figured out kind of a routine and you still find yourself obsessing over these small details, then I would like to share 10 things now that have tremendously helped me to shift my focus away from nutrition and get back into this world and actually live life and use diet as a tool. And the first one is to find fitness. Because same as with a car, if you put good fuel in, it's going to ride more smoothly. I don't have a car, but I would guess so. Maybe not. When you put good fuel into your body, then fitness is becoming such a joy, such a blast, and so much fun. So something that I've really been exploring now that I've dialed in my diet and I've found my routine that works for me, kind of my signature system when it comes to nutrition, which, as I mentioned with the rice earlier, I think everyone needs to find their own signature system that works for them. And we need to stop identifying so much with the voices of other influencers. I know there are a lot of vegan, raw vegan, whole food, plant-based people out there who are sharing a message, and I think it's amazing and I love that, but it's so important to always just take that as inspiration and not as a guideline or as rules, or again as a tool of enslavement of saying, okay, I'm also going to mirror exactly what they do. And yeah, so fitness has been amazing. Now over the last 3 years, I would say I've slowly incorporated different things. Now my main things are running in the summer. Now in the winter I don't do it as much, cycling as well, but I do still take my bicycle to the grocery stores, or if I need to run some errands. And sometimes when it's more than 3 degrees outside, I might also ride my bike to work. And then also my trampoline, my mini rebounder, and strength training, and inline skating and longboarding. And then there are a few things I like to do very occasionally, like skiing, surfing, which I haven't done in a very long time, unfortunately. Last time was, I think, 2 years ago when I was on Lanzarote. But yeah, you know, I have a few other also climbing and bouldering, which I just do very occasionally, but can also feel how those are a lot nicer now that I kind of feel so energized from my way of eating. So yeah, fitness. The other one is also to spend more time in nature, because actually, shout out to one of my viewers who is now also a friend of mine. He 2 days ago shared with me about biophotons, which is something contained in especially organic, but just generally in fruits and vegetables. And when we cook our food, we basically break down those biophotons. And when you have a high amount of biophotons in your body, and you don't have to be fully raw for that, you experience more connection, and I can definitely approve of that. So now when I go into nature, I can connect on a much deeper level with the plants, the trees, the birds, everything around me, which might sound woohoo, but that's okay. And yeah, so if you've ever been on fully raw just for, 2 or 3 days, you might have also experienced a lot more synchronicities happening in your life. So going out into nature. Also another one is a meditation, which again, due to those biophotons, I just feel so much more connected to who I really am beyond those forms, or beyond this form of my physical body, of my physical appearance. And realizing who we truly are is such a doorway to experiencing inner freedom and inner peace, and just that connection. It feels so good. And I feel like I got into meditation when, in the days when I was 16 or 17, I think. I mean, I haven't really been practicing heavily, but I have tried so hard, and it was so challenging for me to really find that connection, to find that inner peace and that inner quiet, versus now that the foods I eat have such a calming effect on my body, also produce so much serotonin, I find it a lot easier. Another one is to watch movies, which might sound like weird, but yeah, watching movies, finding hidden messages, finding beauty in the art that goes into movie making is something that I think can also be very, very beautiful, can also be very calming and relaxing. Like, to me, it's really relaxing to just sit down, watch a good movie. I enjoy it so much. So that is something. And then also connecting with friends and finding also people by going out on festivals and showing yourself and finding those people that you really connect with on a deeper level is also something you can do, or that has really helped me to shift my focus away from hyper obsessing about food. And also finding nourishing hobbies, which ties a little bit into the fitness, which I shared about, which in my opinion is one of the greatest area to find new hobbies in. Fitness, and also expressing yourself creatively, whether that's through art, like drawing, paintings, filmmaking, music, making music. There are so many ways. Cooking and making meals or recipes, creating stuff is just such a nice way to channel all that energy that we have from the food, because we need something to motivate ourselves to fuel up well, so that we can express all that energy that we get from the food. And then also learning to become more grounded in the now, which can also be such a helpful skill in this modern world where time and money seem to be the most valuable resources. And then stepping back and grounding yourself in the now and realizing, no, the most valuable resource, at least in my opinion, is my inner peace and the level of contentment and joy and gratitude that I walk through my everyday life. And then also using the time to just be in stillness. So you don't necessarily have to meditate. You can also just become still and just observe the clouds, listen to the birds outside. I'm so incredibly blessed. I have a balcony that I can sit on, and it's funny because a few days I was thinking when I was a kid, I always knew one day I want to have a balcony. I think my ideal goal now is to have a whole garden with fruit trees and stuff like that. But having a balcony, having something where you can sit outside, even just for 5 minutes, staring at the sky and just observing the voice in your head is also something that is such a game changer for me, in helping me to detach so much from the physical form of nutrition and realizing the deeper meaning of it and why I do it. And then also learning to become more compassionate. That is something I'm practicing right now, and to be judgment free. So when I see people on the street, even when I watch YouTube videos of others, sometimes I can find myself judging people, and how incredibly exhausting that is, because the more I judge others, the more I also judge myself, and I'm so obsessed about presenting a good image towards the outside. So that is something that I'm really using my energy and my life force for right now, is to cultivate that skill of just saying, I have compassion with everyone around me, and I meet everyone around me where they're at. And that is so incredibly helpful for just experiencing less stress and negativity in your life, and also helps to make those healthy choices, because eating a plant-based diet, and also especially a heavily fruit-based diet, is the least harmful for all the animals, for the planet, because it doesn't destroy so much natural habitat for these animals, and it also retains the homeostasis of the planet. So being more compassionate can really help us to make those choices, not out of fear, but out of love, because we really want to. And on top of that, another great benefit from being more compassionate is also that our cells contain 99.999% space. So there is a doctor, his name is Dr. Emoto, and he has made experiments with water and water crystals, where he froze them, and some of them he wrote down, I love you, you're beautiful, thank you. And some of these he wrote down, I hate you, or also played like heavy metal music, nothing against heavy metal, but more heavy things, and then also played classical music. And the crystals that he wrote those positive, beautiful things on turned into some of the most beautiful crystals as well, versus the ones that were surrounded by things like I hate you turned into not so beautiful crystals. And our body is also 70% water, so knowing that our body contains so much water and so much space, the question is, with what kind of energy do we want to fill that space within the cells of our body? How do we want to shape the structure of the water that is in our body? So it's not just about the food we put in, it's also about the thought and the intention that we put in. And when we become more compassionate, more loving, then the entire cell structure in our body, or the space that is inside our cells, is going to turn more beautifully. I know this might sound woohoo, but I still want to mention that and just share that if that's something that resonates with you, then, you can take it or you can leave it. And then the last thing I want to mention that I have also found a lot of joy in recently, now that I feel like I've dialed the diet in, is finances and money. Now, 2 things or resources I want to recommend here right away that have completely helped me to learn how to generate more money, how to deal with money, and especially, most importantly, reach financial freedom, which for me personally, financial freedom doesn't mean that I never have to work another day in my life and am financially supported, but it means more that I have way more money, way more than enough money to spend, and I have found a way to generate that money in a way that doesn't feel like work. And in that sense, I would say I have reached financial freedom at the age of 25, which I'm so excited about, because literally whenever it's time to have vacation, I don't feel like I need the vacation, because my work literally feels like vacation. I love my work so much. I work full-time now, and on the side I'm doing my online business, and none of these things I look at as something where it's a hassle. Of course, you have appointments and times where you need to be somewhere, and sometimes that can be a bit of a drag to not be able to choose over your time as freely. But then when I'm actually there, same as with, running, sometimes I need to motivate myself to go out and run. But then once I'm on the track, I'm running in nature, breathing in the fresh air, absorbing the sunlight, hearing the birds. I love it so much. And that's kind of the energy that I have cultivated around making money as well. And 2 things that really helped me here. First of all, Think and Grow Rich. It's such an amazing book, which has brought a lot of financial freedom into my life. And then another resource that I also want to recommend is by Ted Carr. It's a manifestation guide, I think, and he gives that away for free. So if you message him on Instagram, and this is not sponsored or anything, I really just read his guide, and it's pretty quick read. And yeah, that is also really, really nice. So if you message him on Instagram, he'll probably send it over to you. So yeah, that was everything I wanted to mention in today's video. And in my next video, we're going to talk about fruit versus starch for weight loss. So if you're interested in that, make sure to subscribe, and maybe see you there. Bye, have an awesome day.